everybody. You're good, Sandy.
What, babe?
You're good.
Thank you. All righty. 4 minutes late. 3 minutes, according to my phone, as Mr. Smith is going to remind me. Good news is that he has all you guys' best interests at heart. So we're going to take just a minute to warm up our necks a little bit before we move, before we really move. So come to an easy seated position, whatever that means for you on your mat. It's so good to see you guys. Feels like a little bit of normalcy creeping into our life, right? And which sounds weird to say when we've all got masks on our face, but that's the world right now, right? So as you come to your easy seated position, I'd like you to really think about what brought you to your mat this morning. What is it that you want to achieve here in class? It might be just finding some deep breath. It might be unlocking your neck. It might be enjoying the community. But set your own personal intention, your sankalpa. It's one of the things that separates yoga from just going to the gym and working out with a trainer in a group, is that purposeful coming to your mat and setting an intention and then moving through the practice with courage and heart, seeking that particular intention that day. Once you have your intention set, go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. And then let's think about the quote that courage has a posture, in and out. So notice where your shoulders are. When we are not feeling courageous, we tend to curl the shoulders in and the head goes down. So make certain that you're pressing the sit bones down, you're lifting the spine up, you're pulling the heart up, shoulders relaxing down onto the back. Crown of the head lifting towards the sky, and then nice big deep breaths in and out. Do 2 more of those breaths in and out. And then as you're ready, go ahead and bow your head, honoring that intention that you just set on your mat. And with your next inhale, lift the head up and let the eyes flutter open and the hands go back down by the thighs. I'm trying to get back to the start of the playlist here. And we'll start by opening up the neck. So take the fingers out to either side of the hips and press them into the ground. Roll the shoulders again onto the back. Notice how just taking the fingers out, where'd your fingers go? Did they come in front of the hip bones or back even? And then roll the shoulders on the back. Lift up through the heart. Tuck the rib cage down in towards the hip bones. Lift up through that heart. Take a nice big breath in and out, and then draw the right ear down by the right shoulder. And inhale back up to center, and then take it off to the left. Inhale back up to center. Draw the chin down towards the chest. Notice I didn't say drop. Keep muscular energy involved here. And then roll, keeping the chin down low. Roll the left ear over by the left shoulder. Take the nose up towards the sky. Right ear over by right shoulder. And finally, chin back to center of the chest. Keep the head low and go the opposite direction, nice and slowly. No, try not to shrug the shoulders up by the ears. Bring the ears down to the shoulders. Again, reverse that, going the other direction. And one more time, reversing. Coming back through. And then lift the head back up to neutral. Keeping the left fingers on the ground, draw the right arm up and reach over, find that left ear, draw the right shoulder down, right ear down by the right shoulder. Now, right away, my left fingers want to start floating up. So press those left fingers down as you pull the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then begin to press the left ear into your hand and the hand back into the ear. Do you feel the left side of your neck just wake up? And then gently release, float that right arm back down. Lift the left arm up, reach up and over the head and find that right ear. Keeping pressure on the right fingers, start to draw the left ear by the left shoulder. And then gently press back with the head into the hand, hand pulling the head down. The nice thing with this is that you can control how deep or how gentle you are on the neck here. And then inhale that left arm up and bring both arms down. Let's see how the shoulders feel this morning. Flip the palms up so the fingernails are down towards the ground and the thumb is pointing behind you. Keep the arms rotated that way and draw the arms up overhead. Let the gaze float up by the fingertips and then take the left hand to the right knee and the right hand behind you. Press up through the spine and exhale and twist. Notice if the knees want to pull up, press them towards the floor. With each breath on the inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, twist a little deeper. My shoulders are creeping up by my ears, so I need to remember, relax those shoulders. With your next inhale, go ahead and unwind this, coming back up through the center. Let the gaze once again go up by the fingers, stretch through the arms, and then pull the shoulder blades actively down the back. Twist to the left, and let the hands float back down. Lengthen through the spine, exhale and twist. Check in with the neck, and you can decide, because you can always look forward to release the neck, or look back to deepen the twist a little more. I'm laughing, Kent still has stain on the bottom of his feet. We've been working on the deck. So you might see me favoring one knee a little bit. I have blisters. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, hands down to the heart center. 2 times, let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, press all that stale air out. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, pressing all that stale air out. Bring the hands back behind the hips and rock forward. We're simply going to pass through tabletop, making our way up to our mountain pose to actually begin our class this morning. And I would like you to have your strap up close by the top of your mat. Why do I have 2 straps here? Oh, was it in your bag? Was it in your bag? Yeah. Okay. So once you come to the front of your mat, look down at your feet, make certain that all 10 toes are roughly pointing forward, notwithstanding, all of the irregularities of our feet, and then find all 4 corners of those feet. We go back and forth, find those 4 corners, and stamp down through the 4 corners, keeping a soft bend in the knees. Draw the shins in and pull the thighs apart. Then lift up through the glutes and engage the abdominals. Roll those shoulders back and apart and lift up through the spine. Nice big in and out breath here, just setting up your muscle memory for your Tadasana pose. Then inhale, stretch the eyes and the arms all the way up. As you exhale, fold, but keep a big bend in those knees. Unless you've already been really warming up, keep a huge bend. Not even the rich Gonchaka bend only you and I know about. Great big bend. And then inhale, come halfway up without straightening the legs. Pull the belly up and in, and now forward fold all the way down, and see if that little adjustment gave you some more space there to draw the chest closer to the thighs, belly folding in towards the thighs. Take a couple of breaths here, upside down. Let the head dangle, and again, to work on the neck a little bit, you can nod the head, you can shake the head. Make certain the arms are outside of the feet, wider than the feet, pressing the shoulders apart and away from the ears here. Just lengthening that space in the neck. Now slide your hands up your shins, press into the shins, flatten the back, straighten the legs, press the sit bones up towards the sky. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Now the bend here can start to get smaller and smaller in the knees as the back of the legs wake up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, pull that belly up and in to let you hinge all the way down. Inhale one last time, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale and fold. Bring the hands to the hips. Make certain all four corners of both feet are pressing down and rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and grab your strap and bring that strap up over your shoulder. Start with your right shoulder, please. And we're going to, this first, I just want it here so it's ready for us, but the first opener that we're going to do is a different one. Bring the hands back behind your back and clasp your hands. And then with the fingers pointed down towards the small of your back, root down through all four corners of those feet again. Get your base nice and steady. And then roll the shoulder blades onto the back. So I'm pressing into the small of my back right now, pulling the ribs down towards the hip points in front. Then start to extend the shoulders down. I know sometimes folks get confused when we're in bridge pose and we talk about clasping your hands underneath you and then rocking side to side to get the shoulders open. That's this move right here. Now, as you press the fingers towards the ground, press the fingers away from your bum towards the wall. So don't lift, press them back. Try to keep them just as close to the floor as they were before. Notice if your back is flexible like me, right away I want to go to banana back. Elise has this beautiful pulled in without pulling her thighs forward stance. It's great. 2 more breaths here. You feeling your pecs open a little bit? Even across my left collarbone, I feel it. And then release the hands. Bring the arms out in front of you and flip the front palm up. Reach up. Let the left arm encourage that tricep back behind the right ear. Now reach down and find your strap on your back. Again, pull the rib points towards the hip points. Lift through the heart. Take the left arm out. Flip the thumb down. Don't come down. Go back with the arm. Once you've gone as far back as you can, now bend the arm and reach up. And now you can start to wiggle those fingers closer to each other as you draw the left shoulder down and the right shoulder onto the back. Again, checking in so that we're not getting there by banana backing like I just did. And breathe. If this is too much, feel free to back off slightly. Little adjustments if you want more out of it. Lifting the head, pressing the right elbow up, pulling the left elbow down. Now, if you'd like to stay right here, stay right here. If you want to deepen this stretch quite a bit, take a little bend in the knees, little tiny bend, and then push the bum back and start to forward fold. And breathe. Then bend those knees, lift back up. Slide the hands apart, reaching one hand for the floor, one hand for the sky. Bring both hands up together. Exhale, hands down to the heart center. Bring the strap over to the left shoulder. Yeah.
It didn't feel wonderful when I was doing it, but it was okay. But once I bent over, I felt it here. Wow.
Yeah, because that's one of the ligaments, that's part of what you're stretching out. Yeah. It's really interesting how remembering everything's connected, and you think, why does bending over increase? Elise was asking, why does the bend over increase the stretch through the arms? It's all connected, right? All right, so take those arms all the way out, flip the left arm up. Not a very scientific answer, just it's all connected. And then really work to get that tricep back behind the ear if you can. Then bend the left elbow. Reach that right arm out, thumb towards the ground, reach behind you, and then fold. You should find that you get a lot higher on your strap. Pull the left elbow up and the right elbow down. And breathe into this stretch as you plant the feet, lifting through the heart. And again, you're welcome to stay here. If this feels plenty intense on the upper body, stay here. Want to feel a little bit deeper stretch throughout the body, Slight bend in the knees, butt goes back, forward folding. So we try not to let the arms move other than they float on the back here. Notice as you do this, my feet want to cave to the outside. So I have to really press through the inner edges of my legs to keep those big toe ball mounds pressing down. When you're ready, inhale, float back up. Slide the hands away from each other. Reach that right arm up next to the left. Clasp the hands, Charlie's Angel style. Lift up. Draw your heart up towards the sky and draw a little line like Harold and the crayon. And look back at the fingers, perhaps. Little crescent stretch here. And then come back. Does anybody remember Harold and the Crayon book? Yeah, I used to love that book with the kids. And keep the arms extended. Release the clasp. Right hand grasps left wrist. Reach up through the left side of the body. Plant the left foot. Stretch. Right. Nice big side body stretch. Inhale, coming back up through the center, and then switch your grip. Plant that right foot as you reach through the right side, and then reach over to the left. Think Gumby. You're trying to stretch the side body longer. And then inhale, reaching all the way up. Let the arms separate and swan dive down to a forward fold. At this point, you can take the strap off and just set it next to your mat. Inhale, halfway up for Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, place your hands, make your way back. We'll find a plank pose. Now remember, your plank can be a full out plank or the knees can come down. Exhale, take chaturanga, and then come all the way down. Lift the right leg, stretch out through that leg, lay the toes down. Lift and stretch through the left leg and press the toenails into the ground. Push the pelvis into the ground so hard between the pelvis and the toes that the knees pop up. Now drag your chest forward and then roll the shoulders on the back and inhale, lift up with the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck the toes, press through a table, and then lift the hips and find your first down dog. And take a moment here to walk out this dog, getting comfortable on your mat. Remember to breathe mindfully here. So what do I mean by that? Don't just race through stretching out here. Breathe into each one of the movements of the body. Beautiful. Now still your down dog. And then on an inhale, lift all the way up through the hips, coming up onto the tippy toes. Exhale the chest back by the thighs. Look forward and then step slowly, little tiny baby steps up to the front of your mat, trying to keep the knees forward. And then inhale halfway up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep eyes and arms all the way up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Let's increase that a little bit here. Inhale all the way, swan dive down, nice big breath. Inhale halfway for Ardha. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, find your plank. This second chaturanga, come down and hover. You can press all the way down for baby cobra like we did, or pull up for up dog. Roll or press through the toes and come back to down dog. Take 3 full breaths here in this down dog. And as you do that, try to refine your down dog. Look forward at your hands. Draw your shoulders away from each other. Press your chest back. Lift through your hips. Exhale the heels lower. And then look to the front of your mat. Bend your knees and step or hop up to the front now. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Inhale halfway up. Exhale and fold. This time I want you to inhale and make certain your weight stays centered over all 4 corners of the feet. Inhale halfway up and notice how that changes. Some of you rock back. I do that. We rock back on the heels. Try to keep the weight centered. Exhale, forward fold. 1 big breath all the way up. Inhale and exhale, hands down to the heart center. We'll do a third one. And with just a few cues, I'm going to have you guys do a sun salutation by yourself. So inhale, raising the arms up. Find your forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Take your version of plank. Chaturanga to your back bend and to down dog. Beautiful. 3 deep breaths. The pose I love and everyone loves to hate. Lift your right leg up behind you and bring your right heel towards your right hip. Draw that right knee up towards the sky and flex that foot to the opposite side body. Pull the left shoulder forward. Square the hips off, stretch the leg out, and place the right foot down by the left. Draw the knees down onto the mat. Bring the toes together. Take the knees nice and wide. Press the hips back to the heels and sink into your child's pose. If being on your wrists is already starting to bother you, feel free in this child's pose to work those wrists out. You don't have to be quiet and static in a pose. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, draw those knees together, come back through your table. Exhale, press right back up, finding your down dog. And we'll lift up the opposite or hopefully left leg. Bend that left knee, bringing the heel towards the bum. Stack the hips. Pull the left knee up towards the sky. Right shoulder pulls forward. Square the hips off. Draw the left foot down by the right. Exhale the heels down towards the ground. Look forward, bend the knees, and step or hop up to your forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Keep the arms lifted and drop those hips, finding your chair pose. Inhale back up. We're going to head back to chair and see, can you get down there without coming forward? Beautiful. Couple of deep breaths, squeezing the knees together, squeezing the ankles together, pressing the rear behind you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step back to your plank. This is the last sun salutation where I'm going to ask everyone to take the chaturanga. That means it will happen twice because the sun salutation has to. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips, find down dog. Take 3 breaths. We're heading to a warrior 1. So on an inhale, lift that right leg up behind you. Curl the spine, pull the knee in, place the foot in between the hands. Draw the left foot out so the toes come towards the front of the mat for warrior 1 legs, and then windmill the arms up. Stamp through that left heel into the mat. Pull the ribs in and draw the shoulders down the back. Bring the hands back behind you, clasping the hands like you did, and then press the hands towards the left heel. I really feel this through the front of my left shoulder. Anybody else? Now, normally we would take humble warrior here. Today, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to take a balance challenge. So inhale, Carla's like, oh, great. Carla, feel free to go by a wall. And I got to tell you, the other day on the right side, I had no problem. Left side, I kept falling out. Okay, press your hands towards your left heel and really stamp that left heel down so you feel the left leg go straight. Big bend in the right knee, hips square. Now start to lift your heart, bringing your heart up towards the sky. You'll notice that your left hand went further down your left thigh. You can stay right here, fixing your gaze, your drishti on one spot, or you can close your eyes and see if you can hold the balance for 3 breaths. The end of that 3rd breath, without moving, open the eyes. Fix your gaze on one spot. Now slowly draw that spot down the wall as you come back to a neutral chest. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale the hands down to frame the front foot. Whoever thought closing your eyes would be hard. Step back, finding your plank. Exhale, take your chaturanga and pull through to your back bend. Press back, find down dog. Take 3 breaths. Now, this is one of the reasons that we call down dog a resting or a home-based position, because every time we come to it, we want to take some time and we want to refine the position. We want to get back to the breath. Next breath, lift the opposite or left leg up, hopefully left. Draw that foot in, set the foot in between the hands. We're setting up warrior 1 on the opposite side. Right toes pointed towards the right front corner, hips square, big bend in that front knee. Float the arms up. Should feel a huge stretch in that back calf. If you don't, move the feet around. Find your yoga. And then bring the hands down behind the back. Clasp the hands. You'll notice they want to go back to just kind of a standard set, right? So flip it out so that the opposite thumb is on top. And then press the hands towards the right heel. Push out through that right heel. And slowly begin to lift the heart. This is how we sneak back bends on you. We say lift with your heart, because when we say back bends, it can scare people sometimes. Now feel free to stay right here, heart lifted, eyes open, or close your eyes. Notice how that changes your balance. Let your internal gaze go down to those feet. That's where the balance starts. The end of your 3rd breath, if your eyes are closed, float them open, fix your gaze, and then slowly draw that gaze point down so that you're in a neutral spine. Hands lift up, and then exhale. Hands frame that front foot, step back, find your plank. This is the final required chaturanga. Exhale. Well, that's what I meant. It's the last sun salutation. I'd like everybody here, exhale, come all the way down. And I want to focus a little bit on the elbows, all right? So remember, it's not gym and we're not in the military, so the elbows don't go out. We want to work these inner muscles a little bit more. So we're going to pull those elbows in close to the body whenever we lift up into cobra or we lift up into a reverse plank and then to down dog, all right? So go ahead and take a minute here and play with your elbows, just noticing. Just press up into cobra the way you normally do. Where are your elbows at? Yeah, and then come down. Also, this will help protect the shoulders. And then you can press to a table, you can press, reverse your plank. So just play with those elbows, noticing, oh, I do get wings. And then if you need a drink, this is a great time to stop and grab a drink or adjust the items of clothing or whatever needs to happen. And we'll all meet back at our mat. Did you lose an eyelash?
No, it's blurred.
Oh, your contact, okay. All right, we got a couple of drink getters here. If anybody needs one, grab one. Colleen, do you have a water? Do you want a water?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. When you're ready, come back to the front of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. So this class, we're actually going to be working more. I just wanted you really warmed up on our quads now, opening up those quads and the legs. So we're going to make our way into an Anjaneyasana. We're going to vinyasa there. So inhale all the way up. Exhale and forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step on that right foot, lift the left leg up, and float it back behind you parallel to the mat. Then as you shift your weight back onto your toes, drop down, lay the left leg down, and notice right away, we want a steep angle on that left thigh, all right? If your left leg is in and you're making a 90-degree angle or the hip is even, then I want you to take it further back. Lay the left toes flat. Make certain that the right knee is right on top of the right ankle. Inhale the hands up to the knee. Don't go any further. I'd like your chest to be laying on your thigh right now. Kind of like, hey coach, what's the next play? Now, drive your hips towards your heel, your front heel, which will start to lift your heart. Again, take the chest down. Drive the hips closer to the heel. And let that lift the heart. It's a subtle action. If you're not getting what I'm talking about, then raise your hand and let me know that. Okay, Carla said, I don't know what you're talking about. Bring your hands down to your feet and press your hips back and up. So you're getting ready as though you were getting ready for a runner's lunge. All right. So my hips are back. I feel this intensely in my right butt. Okay. I want you bring your blocks in. We're going to get here another way. We're going to give the chest lots of space. Now, think only about moving the hips. Take the hips forward towards the front heel. So Carly, keep your legs exactly where they are and just drive the hip forward. Did you feel how your whole body went forward?
I'm not supposed to do the whole body.
Right, I don't want your whole body. So we just want the hips to move. Got it?
I see.
So you should feel it now start to shift into the left hip instead of the right. We all getting that? Now, if your hips are skewed, like Colleen, can you see your right shoulder? Yeah, there you go. It's better to pull back a little than to go skewed. All right. That sounds like a joke, but all right. You can bring the blocks in even at a higher level. So now you can keep the hips forward and lift the heart. Press the sit bones down towards that left heel. This should be really intense in your the whole left hip complex right now. Did that make me sound smart? All right, hands come down around that front foot. Tuck the left toes. Lift the left leg up and take a little bit of the weight off. Then inhale, step forward onto the right foot, float the left foot back up next to it, shake those legs out. What we're seeking here is a really intense stretch on that left leg, all right? Now we'll switch to the right. So step on that left foot, lift the right leg up and drive it straight back behind you. Then as you shift your weight, bending your left knee, drop your right foot down. So I'm in a runner's lunge. Now I'm gonna pull that right knee down to the ground, lay the right toes flat. I saw Elise grab her wrap pad. No, you can always roll the mat up, right? Pull the blanket. Now, if you need the block to help your back have more freedom so you can get those hips forward, grab it. Otherwise, just work on driving the hips. Only the hips move, and that's what lifts the heart because the spine, it's just all connected, right? And lift up. Keep driving those hips forward towards that left heel. Breathe. Your left knee should still be over your ankle. Good question. Nice deep breast press here. And then walk the blocks off to the side, bring the hands down to frame the foot, tuck the back toes, lift up, finding that runner's lunge. Now we're gonna play with the hips in runner's lunge. Bring the blocks back in under the hands, noticing where your hips were. If your hips are higher than your chest, like right here where my hips are really lifted, my head is down, I want you to think about lifting through the arms and drawing the hips towards the floor, pressing into that back leg, relaxing the hips down. I know Deb does not like this one, I'm sorry. And then step into the left foot, float the right foot forward, shake the legs a little bit, keep the blocks right where they are, float the left foot up and back parallel to the mat, press back, find a runner's lunge on this side. And again, maybe lift those hips, check it out, roll the shoulders onto the back, lift the heart and let the spine start to relax and drive down the hips towards the floor. Again, right knee still stacked over right ankle to protect the knee. Bend that left leg and then press through the heel, pull up through the back of the left thigh. Inhale, step onto the right foot, float the left foot up next to it, shake those legs out. Inhale, halfway up just to release everything here. Exhale and fold. Come down onto your mat, and if reaching back and grabbing your ankle is not your buddy in these poses, I'd like for you to make a small loop. Just big enough that it can go around your foot. And have it by the edge of your mat. We're going to use it in several poses coming up here. If reaching back and grabbing your foot is cool, don't worry about it. Okay, we good to go? All right. We're going to come back. Let's see, if you want to use your strap, place your strap around your right foot before you move and make certain that the tail is forward so you can reach it. If you don't need your strap, then just make your way down onto your belly. You can chaturanga there, or you can just roll there. No style points, okay? Bring your left hand in front of your heart and lift up with the right hand. You're just lifting yourself up. You're using that right hand to lift you up. Try not to square or skew the back. Try to keep the shoulders square, which might mean, oh, I can pull my left hand in further. So we're playing with our back bend here. Press into the toes, press the pelvis into the floor, pull the belly up and lift through the heart. Now, bend the right leg. We are not headed to bow. We are going to Bakasana, a variation of frog pose. Take your right arm back behind you. This is why we opened our shoulders, and find your foot. Now we're going to pull the foot to the outside of the hip and then start to drive the foot towards the right butt cheek. Your right glute, or excuse me, your right quad should have just said, well, good morning. What are we doing today? And remember, for some of us, this will just be getting the foot outside the hip. Others are going to be able to get that foot quite close to their hip. Couple of breaths here. And then release that foot. You know what's coming. So if you need to, roll over onto the side, switch the legs, the strap out for the legs. Make certain that the strap is coming up by the side of the body. And then that right arm comes in front. Learn from the other side. So if you could bring the arm in quite close because you could get your spine to lift, go ahead and do that. Left hand comes out. Plant that right foot, bend that left leg, reach back, finding the foot. We're not focusing on the grip here today. I don't care where you grab that foot, okay? Just make certain you drive the foot to the outside of the thigh and then start to pull the foot actively in towards the hip. So this is Ardha, which means half, Bakasana, which means frog.
It's supposed to hurt, right?
It shouldn't hurt. Don't pull so hard it hurts. Where does it hurt?
In the quad.
In the quad? Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Yeah. You want to feel stretch, not pain. Okay. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. And then release the leg. Bring the hands to stack in front of you, bend the knees, and windshield wiper the legs. Now, if you're like me and you ought to be foam rolling and you don't do it as much as you should, this not only releases the back, but it should feel like you're kind of rolling your quads here. You get that little massage action, Elise? Yeah. Okay, go ahead and stretch those legs out. So when you're watching TV at night, you can lay on the floor and do that and say, I'm doing yoga. Bring your hands back by your hips now. And let your chin, you don't need the strap for this one. Bring your hands back by your hips and let your chin rest on the floor. We're headed to locust. So press the pelvis into the ground, pull the heart forward, roll the shoulders back, press the hands towards the feet. Maybe the feet float up. Just keep pressing that pelvis down. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Now with the legs lifted, can you bend the legs and bring the thighs up off the floor? And then exhale and release down. If you need to windshield wiper those legs again, go for it. And then sweep your hands up by your rib cage, tuck your toes, press up through a table, and let's take 5 cat-cows to work that out. So inhale, lift the sacrum, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, press the sacrum down, push the back up, head away from the mat. Beautiful. Keep going, 4 more of those. Hopefully your back is saying, oh, thank you. And when you next find yourself in a neutral spine, take your toes and your knees back a few inches, lift up and press into down dog. We'll all meet there in down dog. And well, hey, we haven't done a lot of core, so let's get some core in here. Lift your right leg up. We're headed for three-legged dog crunches. So pull the right knee in and try to hit that right elbow. And then stretch that right leg out. Pull the right knee in towards the chest, hovering high up above the mat. And then exhale and take the right leg back. Cross body this time. As you breathe, bring that right knee over. Try to tap the left wrist or elbow. And then stretch back out. Draw the right foot down by the left and take a few steps. When you're ready, press through that right foot, lift the left leg up, press the right heel towards the ground, and then start your crunches. Exhaling, left knee, left elbow. Inhaling, stretching back. Exhaling, curling to the center of the chest and hovering. And then pressing back. Exhaling, cross body, left knee, right elbow, and pressing back. Draw left foot down by right and exhale down for a child's pose. Take a couple breaths and roll those wrists out. All right, inhale and come up. Enough rest for you. Inhale and come up. Now you're gonna have two options on this next quad stretch, all right? If you have a wall, or like Robertson's, I think you have a sofa there, that may work also. You can, if you're using a wall, then I'd like you to bring, either roll your mat up to cushion your knees, or bring a blanket in close to your wall. And I'll show you what we're gonna do. We're going to just walk ourselves back to our wall, our sofa, wherever, and take our left leg with the left heel outside of the hip. Draw the knee in. Give yourself plenty of space here, all right? So the initial, don't take the left knee all the way into the baseboard. Keep it forward about 6 inches, maybe even. Lay the toes flat or place them on top of your sofa. Then with your hands to the left side of your mat, swing your right foot forward and plant right foot underneath right ankle. Right knee on top of right ankle. There we go. Now, hopefully your butt is pushed way back towards your left heel. Bring your hands up towards your right knee and stack yourself. Now start to drive like we did earlier, the butt towards the right foot. So don't think so much about shoving your chest up in the air. Drive your hips forward. And then start to press the entire body back towards the wall or the sofa. Make certain your left foot is outside your left bum. Yeah, so if you were to go all the way back, see how my foot is outside here? Yes. Elise is not sure she likes this. Now, if you want to deepen it, you just bring the hands back down, walk the front foot further in, and press back. If you still want to go deeper, you can come down and you can walk the left knee in closer to the wall. The closer that left knee is into the wall, the more intense this gets on the quad stretch. The more you're driving those hips forward, even as the whole body is going back towards the wall, the more intense this gets on the quad. Now, I always like to show people, where do we go from here, right? Why do we care about this? But you can actually use this to work on your back bend. So you can lift through the heart, look up, and the hands. Helen, you could probably do this. Hands come towards the wall. And then you walk the hands back up the wall and come back. At this stage, we can play with the arms coming up. Yeah, Deb, that looks nice. Hands come down, come to the inside of that right foot. Shift your weight forward and drag your foot away from the wall. Yeah, you just kind of crawl forward. Got it? You okay? Foot cramp? Okay. Toes hurt from being on the wall. This week I had to, several of us must have been doing variations of this. Switch to the other side. Had to bring the Mr. Clean sponge in, work on the wall. Okay, remember, right heel outside of right hip. Just John and that doggone nail polish. Swing the left foot forward. Plant that left foot. I like to bring the hands to the knee first with the butt still back. because it's not really tense. And then start to drive the hips forward to lift the heart. And kind of, oh, yes, there we are. And again, once you find that position, then start to take the body back towards the wall.
Does my knee still stand on my hip? It's just my foot that comes out? Or is my knee supposed to be outside my hip?
Your knee stays in line with your hip. Good question. Knee stays in line with the hip. It's just the foot. So while you guys are pretending that this doesn't, this is an upward facing version of Virasana, right? Where the legs are outside. Bakasana, frog, is just another version of that. Take one more breath in your chosen position. If you went for that back bend, go ahead and see if you can do it here. Yeah. And think of it as, again, not so much as a back bend, as a lifting of the heart. Beautiful, Colleen. And then when you're ready, unwind, sneak forward, and come out of this. From here, we're going to head all the way down to our mat. And again, if you like the strap around the ankle, place it around your right ankle, please. And sorry, one more adjustment. Grab your blocks on the way. Anybody who has to pee, I'm going to apologize right now. We're going to bring these blocks down. You'll know you have the blocks set up right when your pelvis lays on the blocks, right? Not quite at the iliac crest, but on the pelvis itself. So hopefully that takes some of the pressure off the bladder. And then just let the heart relax over the blocks, pressing on the belly. Hands come back by the heart or by the chest. Elbows nice and in. Press the toes into the ground so the knees pop up. And then start to lift up. Let the back do the work, not the arms. Exhale again, come down. Try to lift up, and the hands are just ancillary. You might even keep your hands lifted, playing. So the harder you press your toes into the ground, you'll be able to do that. So come down, and like everybody, come all the way down. Bring your hands by your shoulders. Now press into the toes, into the pelvis, curl from the spine, lift up with the heart. Beautiful. And then exhale and come down. Now, if you feel like there's no way that's going to happen, my whole front body is falling forward, you might be too far forward on your blocks. So you might want to scoot back. All right, take a breath here. I know, easier said than done with the blocks sticking in your pelvis. But we're going to love the blocks when they help us get into a deeper bow pose. Bring your left arm in front of you as we did in Ardha Bakasana, parallel to the short edge of the mat. Right hand comes out to the right side. Lift up and draw that left arm in. And then start to bend the right leg. Keep the leg in line now with the hip and reach back, finding the foot. Pull the foot in. And then as you lift the heart, start to kick the foot away. I'm going to switch my grip.
So I was trying to figure out that type of
Yeah, you can go lots of different grips here because we're really working on the back bend. You can also take that front arm, that left arm out front, and help that lift up. So between the blocks and the arm. Now, can you lift the right thigh up off the ground? Left thigh stays down. There you go. And switch out. If you need to pull up off the blocks for a minute, go for it. Take that right arm parallel to the short edge of the mat, in quite close. Left arm comes out to the side. Yeah, if you're using that strap, switch it to the other side. Now keep the chest squared as you press the toes down. Lift up through the back, bend the left leg, reach back, finding that left ankle. I like to flex my foot. Some people like to point the toes. I like to flex. Draw the foot in close to the butt, and then start to pull back, which will lift you up. Again, you can take that right hand forward. Beautiful, love it, Carla. She's doing kind of a Superman version. And then,
take the right hand forward.
yeah, but on the ground to help you. She was floating out here. And then release. Go ahead and just fold over the blocks for 2 breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, come back up. You're welcome to play with that half bow on either side if you felt like, hey, I was getting lots of lift there. I just want to stay one side. Or let's go to full bow, letting the blocks help lift us. All right. So bend back with that right foot, grab that right ankle. Now here, so that you don't come over the front of your blocks, you really have to pull back through the shoulders, and that right foot has to hold you. Bend the left leg, reach back, squeeze the knees, and lift up. The more we kick, Robertsons, you look beautiful. The more we kick the feet back and away, grounding the thighs down, the more the pelvis can help us lift. And then release. Go ahead, take those blocks away. If a child's pose would feel better, go for it. Totally your choice here. Yeah, Elise just said, can I try it without the blocks? Yes, hopefully your back and your shoulders are all warmed up. So if you want to do that, come down onto the belly. Yeah, try to grab your ankles instead of your feet. Yeah, now flex those feet and really pull the feet back away from the shoulders. Yeah, beautiful. Now try to lift the thighs up. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Nice, Colleen. Colleen's even got a rock going. Try to draw your knees in towards each other. Yeah, there you go. You got it, you got it. I know, I'm just never happy. All right. Now we have to play with, and I think I know some of you guys like what traditionally we call frog, but is really Mandukasana. Did I say that right? I had to actually write it down. Allie always yells at me. In Anusara Yoga, we call this frog, but it's actually Mandukasana. So we'll come to this. I'm going to do it this way just so you can see it. We're going to stack, again, at a wall is best, but you stack ankles and knees. And then I like to stack blocks under the pelvis, just so psychologically I know that if I become spatchcocked, I'm going to get caught by the blocks and not tear ligaments, all right? And then you come down onto the elbows. Don't let the weight come forward. Keep the weight driving back. This works really good if you, Colleen, you might want to take your blanket and lay it so it's under both knees, if your knees hurt.
You want your knees on the blanket?
You ideally, yes, you want your knees, you're going to open up your blanket. I just didn't take the time in my demo, sorry. So you're going to open your blanket up wider than your mat so that your knees are cushioned. What, babe?
My ankles don't touch the floor.
So Ken just said my ankles don't touch the floor when I do that. So for him, that's one of the first steps in this pose, right? Is actually getting the ankle rotation so that he can get, so you want your knees further out away from the wall, Carla? So that, sorry? Yes, yes. So you want to work on trying to lay the inner edges of the feet flat. Yeah, so that's just part of what you're working on. Yeah. Cool. Now notice your weight's going to want to come forward because you're going to feel like, whoa, I can get really low. Keep that weight driving back. Think of a frog. Keep that weight driving back. And as you sit here, it's kind of like the other pose. As you do this, gravity will just slowly start to loosen up those hips. And like right now, I now feel the blocks underneath me, whereas before I wasn't even touching them. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here as your hips allow.
It's the outside of my hips.
Yeah, if it hurts the outsides of the hips, then I would work just on the rotation on the foot. And don't worry so much about opening up into frog itself. And then when you're ready to come out, it's a little tricky. You want to shift your weight, pull your arms in, shift your weight to one leg, draw one leg in, and then the other. You kind of wibble wobble in. And then you go, oh, thank God, my legs do still close. All right, come forward, grab your strap, and make your way onto, in a seated position on your mat. Just finding that Sukhasana. And take a moment to notice, does this Sukhasana feel a little bit better than when we started? Yay, I love it. A couple people nodding. All right, John, I'm feeling like John is telling a snarky comment to Diana, but I'm not really sure. Inhale, stretch those arms up and twist to the right. Take a nice, easy seated twist. Again, just checking in to see, do I feel a little freer through the collar, the spine, the hips? And then inhale, coming back through. Exhale, twist to the left. And then inhale, coming back up through the center. Draw the hands down. Take the legs straight out in front of you and just make your way down onto your back. I started 3 minutes late. I hope it's okay if I end 3 minutes late. Take a breath here. And then as you stretch through the left leg, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Really push through the left heel as you draw the right knee in. And breathe. Then switch those legs out, stretching out through the right leg, drawing the right shin in, and breathing. Switch those legs out, and this time place the strap around the arch of the right foot. We're headed to Supta Asta Padangusthasana. So with the straps in the right hand, lift the right leg up towards the sky. Now I really like you to focus on getting the legs straight. And so if that means that the leg is closer to the center of the room than the sky, that's fine. Take that left arm out long and adhere the palm down into the ground. Roll the left shoulder down and then exhale and take the right leg out to the right side body. We're not doing hands-on adjustments, but since he's my hubby, I can touch him. And then inhale that right leg back up to the center, switch the strap hands. Take that right arm out long, press the palm down, press the shoulder down, and then exhale, right leg cross body. Keep pressing through the right heel to straighten that leg. You want to feel this on the outside, the TFL, the tensor fascia lata. It's where the IT and other things all come together. And then draw that right leg up towards the sky. Grasp both straps. Don't switch legs yet. Grasp both straps. And then very gently, as you exhale, draw the toes towards the nose. Slowly and gently. And then bend that right knee, take the strap off, switch the legs out. Straps go into the left hand now. Right arm reaches out long. Really press through both heels, straightening the leg, and then on the exhale, the left leg goes out to the left side body. Here, the strap solely acts as an extension of our arm. It doesn't yank our leg around. And then inhale, draw that left leg up towards the ceiling, switch the strap hands out. Press that left arm out, adhering the left side of the body down and stretching the opposite direction. Bottom leg still active, so toes flexed. Yeah. And then lift that leg up towards the sky. Grasp both straps, one in each hand. Take a nice big breath in, and as you exhale, slowly draw the toes a little closer to the face. And then bend the knee, take the strap off the legs, draw both legs in close to the chest. Rock and roll side to side a little bit, checking in with the back to make certain after all those back bends, the back is feeling okay. And then draw the knees wider apart than the chest, stack the ankles on top of the hips, draw the arms to the inside of the shins and outside of the feet. We're headed for happy baby. Grab the outside edges of the feet. Soles of the feet up like they're stamping on the ceiling. Yeah, so ankles stacked on top of knees. Now take your mind's eye to your sacrum. Try to press the low back down and towards the bottom edge of your mat as much as possible. Flattening the spine out onto the mat. Nice. If you'd like to rock your baby, go for it. Yogi's choice. If there's a pose here you'd like to get in that we did not get into class, feel free to add it in here for yourself. Otherwise, if you're ready to relax into your Shavasana pose, go ahead and stretch out, finding your favorite Shavasana. As you settle into this pose, let your eyes get heavy in the sockets. Let your body start to melt down towards the mat. Feel the shoulders relaxing, letting go of any tension anywhere in the body. Notice if you're retaining the breath. Instead, let the breath come easily in and out. Whether it's on our mat in a back bending practice, a hip opening practice, a knee practice, or whether it's off our mat facing challenges like COVID, to go through rocky inner terrain requires courage in the face of fear, which reminds me of a teaching this author received at a yoga teacher training years ago. Geeta Iyengar, BKS Iyengar's daughter, asked the group if they had any questions. One of the trainees asked, "What can we do when fear comes up for us or for our students during our practice?" Geeta replied, "When fear arises, you must lift your chest, you must lift your heart. Remember, courage has a posture. Heart lifted, shoulders back, deep breaths." Take a deep breath in now, filling your body, bringing awareness back. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And as you're ready, the wrists and the ankles join in, and finally the knees come in towards the chest, grasping the shins. If your legs are up the wall, go ahead and press into the wall to help push you further away. And we'll all meet on our right side, coming into one final moment of rest and breath. Until finally we use the top hand and the top leg, bringing ourselves back up to an easy seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center, ending our practice as we began it. I hope today this practice has helped you explore and try different poses that if I had told you at the beginning of class we were going to do, you might not have been too thrilled about. And that in turn lends you some of the flexibility and the openness to walk through your day with courage. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Any questions? Any thoughts? If you guys are wanting to take that practice further, that Bakasana practice that we did, I didn't go there with you guys, but obviously we did Ardha Bakasana, one leg on either side of the hip. The full version of that is to reach back, grab both legs like we did in bow, but your whole front body remains on the mat and you simply pull the legs down towards the hips. So you're really working, if your quads or your hip flexors bother you, it's a nice stretch to practice on. Even those of us with bad knees can usually do this. It's just how far do the legs go, right? Working on pulling those legs down. And then we lift with the heart. But you can see even I, without the blocks, both legs, I don't get the chest very high. It's a practice. All right, you guys have a great week. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Sandy at Pulsation Yoga. Otherwise, hope to see you soon. Bye, guys. I can't tell. I think you're muted, and I think John wants to say something. Nope, he was leaving.